I have to use my original joke now because that's what I want to use.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this episode of the Entertaining Stupid Podcast is brought to you by happiness. Some things in this world you just can't buy or achieve without heavy medication and therapy. Now, for everything else, there's theft. Happiness can't be bought, then just try stealing it. Wouldn't you love to spend an afternoon lounging on the patio sipping some beers? You know, can't afford any of that? Snag a case from the liquor store when they ain't looking. You know what I mean? That's Lazy Pete. He's got his eye don't work all the way. Then snatch a box when his cross eye goes the wrong way. I'm just saying. You know, want a trip down to Mexico but ain't got the cash? Steal someone's identity. And then their credit card. And take that and have a great old time. Call me Juan, because that's what my name is now. You just have to enjoy life. You just have to enjoy life. That's a sentence. That's word structure. That makes sense to people that speak this language. Now, and at the end of it all, you turn yourselves into the authorities. You'll be rewarded with a decent place to live and meals provided for you all for free because you got dirt on the cartel. You were down in Mexico. You did some things as a mule you're not proud of. You're not proud of and you can't speak of in polite company. Sure, those children were sick. They were already sick, okay? They didn't have much of a life. You just made sure that the rest of their life was calculated for in grams of cocaine. Now, you know what they have and you have it on them. You use that to your advantage. You tell the authorities, say, I will come back for a price. I know people, but I want safety. I want someplace I can live. I want someplace the cartels won't follow me. I don't want Carlos coming over here saying, hey, gringo, what happened to my 24 cases of cocaine? You know? That's not what you want. Enjoy your life. Have happiness.
I don't think there was a solution at the end.
Why do they hurt so much, and why do I bleed so much from my rectum?
Hemorrhoids.
Isn't fissures...
It's like the skin cracks.
Well, I was thinking breakages in the earth. Like
that is fissure.
So there's great fissures in your ass.
Yes. Yeah, like the skin is cracked. It caused fissures.
And we have to investigate the fissures, possibly with a drone and or submarine, if it's underwater or above.
Well, the problem
depends on how much hot sauce Dan has eaten.
We're going to need Dwayne The Rock Johnson because we're probably going to end up at the center of the earth of Dan's asshole.
Yeah. And nobody wants to be there.
It's a hot place. It's got lava. I have lava in my anus. How do we deal with this?
That's why this boy's spitting fire.
Someone has told me my rectum can handle heat up to 16,000 Scoville.
They actually tried to plug a nuclear reactor to his asshole to power it, and it was overpowering.
That's happened to Chernobyl.
It happened once. Almost exploded.
I didn't know those beads are going to come out like that. And I just said, bro, how many Rotkin is going to happen if you pull those things out?
That was like, I forgot they were even in there.
I'm just saying, I told Hernando, I said, this ain't Beyblade. Don't let her rip. Go slow. Hernando said he's too jacked up on jalapenos. And then he just fucking ripped him out. And all of a sudden, I'm like, bro, Rotkin's going off now.
All of a sudden, you got a fucking...
Dude, the rods were just popping off.
Non-livable zone. Uninhabitable zone.
I had so much gas after he tried to plug me, I just shot straight up. Like a stack. Woo-wee. Call me Short Stack Danny.
All right.
So many vestibules.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Entertaining Stupid Podcast. It's been a while. It's been like 2 months since we last recorded something.
Jesus.
I blame Rheal.
Yeah. It's the summer. I mean, we're all out and about, busy with shit. Things have been happening.
And by that, nothing has happened.
Oh no, there's been some stuff that's happened. Shout out to our buddy Matty B.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard yet, then you're not really good friends with Matty. But
why are you listening to this?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but you're not listening to it unless you're a friend.
But congratulations, Matty, on your engagement. He has finally decided that the only girl that he's ever dated long time is the one for him. So,
is that the only long term?
Yep.
Well, no, he has that mistress, but like we don't talk about it.
Whoa, okay, it's me in a wig, but we don't need to let them know that.
You look good in heels.
I really do. I got the legs for it.
Got an ass like a salmon.
He asked you not
What?
to shave before.
Nah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, so congratulations, Maddie. And we are very sorry about this whole thing. I had Danny read some ads for us before this, and it was just like 5 minutes.
It was one train wreck after another.
You give me opportunity to have unfettered access to my mental state. It will happen.
I want more. I want to deep
No one
dive.
does.
I want to dive into those
Sill's
fissures.
been living with me for a while, and he can tell you it's terrifying.
Like, I've had everybody record like these ad reads for us, and most of them are fairly normal. You know, you get a little
No, everyone does what I do.
You get a couple of giggles here and there because of how stupid my writing is and the jokes that I make. But then you took one ad read, read the first 3 lines, went on a 2-minute tangent, and then didn't finish the rest of the ad read.
Because I forgot to look back, and I'm like, I'm too far gone now. Because like I can't. It's hard to tie it back in after I've gone over. the cliff.
Yeah. Once we started a few wars.
What you should do is do one small tangent and bring it back instead of a tangent upon a tangent upon a tangent
That's just
upon
how
a
my mind
tangent.
works, though.
And then you're like a mile away from where you started. You're just like, I've gone too
But
far.
that's how you end up at Cheeto flavored frogs. You got to get there somehow.
That's true. Actually, that would be beneficial.
Wouldn't that make the
It would hurt
nature
the
better?
The ecosystem would probably struggle.
No, it make the ecosystem more extreme.
because everything would want to eat.
Extreme cheddar, baby.
They would go. Would extreme toads be like faster?
Does that
They
keep
just be
coming
more
off?
hardcore. They probably have motorcycles.
Hey,
They'd
guess
actually
what?
be slower.
I wasn't recording for the first little bit.
Woo!
Hey, you're a fucking idiot.
Look, this is what happens when we take 2 months off. All right.
This is so scuff. You can't even buff.
There we go.
This is so scuff. It's like in scuffles.
Thank you, Dan. That is exactly
All right.
how I feel.
All right. Well, it's the summertime. We've been doing a lot of fun
This
things.
podcast is scuffles and truffles. I'm sorry.
We've been doing a lot of fun.
That was bad,
things,
and you should feel bad.
Did you another introduction?
We don't need another introduction. I'm just gonna continue on. I'm just gonna slap on.
You didn't introduce us.
Fine. I'm Buddy Jayson, and my friends with me today are.
Rheal.
I don't want to talk.
Sylvan.
There you go, Danny. Are you happy now?
Yeah. We do what I want.
He was the second shooter on the hill.
We do what I want. Hey, all I know is that JFK's got a big old melon.
Not
Man with
anymore.
the unidentified soldier.
Hey, I was shooting at a pinata and I missed. Okay. Just happened to be that big old melon was in the way. Good shot, though.
Something popped out.
Ooh-wee. And it wasn't candy. It was gray matter.
Thank you for clarifying.
That's a part of the brain.
You're a part of the brain.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. So how have you guys been over the summer here?
I want to talk conspiracies. Now,
All right. We're moving. We're moving real
okay,
quick.
So I have an idea about it. I don't think, and I want other people's opinion on this. I have yet someone to tell me a conspiracy that has been an individual above room temperature IQ.
Okay, wait, was there a question in there?
Yeah, have you ever been told a conspiracy about someone that isn't an idiot?
Oh,
I mean, what does Alex Jones' IQ rate at?
Well, he's a retard.
he's at
he
least
said.
300. That guy's a pure
Oh,
genius.
we're not supposed to.
He's even said to himself, like,
You're smart.
No,
You're a
he-
smart.
no,
No,
boy.
he said, he's
He
like,
said-
I'm retarded.
I'm
well.
kind of retarded.
I realize we're not supposed to use that word. That's he is not an intelligent individual.
His brain been splattered.
I don't know. Like I mean, most of my conspiracies come from Reddit and 4chan and
So
whatnot.
usually, but like those are,
brightest
I
minds.
think some of those are made out of like satire. Like they're conspiracies, but they're conspiracies based on we're just making fun of something. The legitimate like 9/11 conspiracy, moon landing, and then all that, like the chemtrails. I'm like, I have yet to, because there's someone at work mentioning them, and not to put it bluntly, but she's a woman that I wouldn't consider the most intelligent based on the fact that I think she was spouting some anti-vax stuff before she jumped on chain because everyone had to in the health region. But either way, she was talking about like chemtrails, and she was like, "Oh, this is really, really happening." And the whole time I'm listening, and I'm like, "Oh, you sound so dumb." I'm like, "Please stop." And like every time I realize that every conspiracy I've heard is coming from someone who may or may not have had some inverse reaction to sniffing glue.
I'd say it's more of an. Never mind, I lost my train of thought. Which one's the chemtrails thing?
That's the one where like the
how does that
government puts particles in the environment, like see the like like when planes go overhead or jets and they have the white cloud and stuff following them. I think the belief is that the government is putting either chemicals into the air to either change people or to track certain things. I looked it up on Google briefly after. I'm like, chemtrails sounds weird.
It's like to pacify the populace.
Yeah, so like, you know what?
Oh yeah, that's true. Fucking working.
Yeah, so like,
we're all real pacific right now.
I think it's like a lot of times, like even if they see people like crop dusting
Atlantic.
and stuff.
I'm more Indian Ocean on this one. Sorry.
Yeah, so I know. I think that's. I remember she's
the
talking
government's
about
crop
chemtrails.
dusting us with Xanax.
I think it's like the same thing. Like, you know when they say like, oh, the vaccine causes autism or it has a chip in it that tracks your location. I'm like, and all that stuff. I'm like, you people are so idiotic.
That one pisses me off. It's like the vaccine has a chip in it that's going to track your location. It's like, motherfucker, everyone has one of these.
For those not viewing the portion, he is pointing to a device
a
device that lets you communicate with others across a distance
that has location access.
Yes,
and forced location.
Yeah, like
it's called a phone.
Yeah, like
homophone.
Everybody like they already know like your browsing habits. Like it's just because like the way that marketing works on the internet. Like they already know fucking most things about your buying habits, your browsing habits. Just basically pretty much everything there is to know about you. And you're mad at a vaccine because it, like, nobody cares how long you spend it on Arby's.
No.
But, like, you think your phone isn't going to tell people that?
This man's
like, you have everything that,
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No. I think that's why a lot of times I feel like it's idiotic. It's just like, okay, you couldn't understand the real reason behind it, so you decided to make up something that made sense to you.
But it's not even that hard to understand the real reason behind it. It's a vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay, normal vaccines.
That's what I'm saying.
We're
but
going
for
to give
smart
you
people,
a
it's easy to understand.
Dead version of it, so your body knows how to fight it.
Yeah, but if you're
God, does that make sense?
If you're uneducated, you'd be like, well,
that's not even hard though.
Yeah, but it's just the way that people rationalize certain things around them and how they perceive, like how they want to rationalize.
You have to put it in their terms. It's like, okay, we know you need to fight Mexicans, so we're going to show you a dead Mexican body, and you're going to learn how to fight them.
I think that's more.
I think that's going to work on these people.
I don't think that works.
No,
I think
that's just a hate crime.
The rednecks, it's gonna. They're gonna understand. It's gonna click in for them.
But like, what is it? The Dunning-Kruger effect?
Yep.
Like, where
Which one's
the
that?
dumber you are, the smarter you think you are.
Yeah. So like, people who think they're smart read the ingredient list of the vaccine and go, "Well, this is straight poison," without actually understanding anything about what they just read.
Ingredients. Great.
Or someone tells them passionately, like, it causes autism. They
It's usually somebody they trust says something, and it's like, well,
and they're not, and they won't look it up for themselves. Or if they do, it's the what's it? Confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Looking up something you want to be true, so you find any source that says it's true.
Right.
yeah, people will ignore good evidence that tells them they're wrong, but find spurious evidence that tells them they're right.
Right.
Just because it's very easy to trick someone, it's very hard to convince someone they've been tricked.
Fair.
Because, like, if what they heard is wrong, that means they are very wrong because they believed it, and their ego will not let them admit to that.
I have to be right all the time.
I like the phrase from the gentleman.
Case in point.
I like the phrase from the gentleman that says, "Be the stupidest person in the room."
I think there's more to it than that.
I can't remember.
So I just live by the start.
He took it a little too close to heart.
No,
That's fucking great.
No, what it actually is, it's essentially be okay with being the dumb person in the room. Like, be okay with asking questions and not knowing. Because the second you ask questions and not know, you learn. You learn more than if you were to say, oh, and if you don't know something, but your ego goes, pretend like you know it. Like, you know it. Pretend like it. No, but like, because you don't want the embarrassment of possibly not knowing something. Get over that fear and go, like people. No, but like people.
No, I know. I've never understood that where it's someone's like, oh, this person's a physicist, and you're talking to them, and they're like, oh, blah blah blah, this one matter principle, and you're like,
oh yes,
oh yeah, of course. No one's gonna fucking judge you if you don't know some bullshit high end thing.
But everyone thinks that though, right? Everyone thinks it, and they go, well, I want to be I don't want to look like I'm dumb. I think a lot of people do.
Well, I mean, everyone in this room, we all realize that we are dumb. So.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in the sense that
readily admitted.
Well, see, like, ignorance isn't a bad thing. Willful ignorance is.
Mm.
So it's like,
I don't know. It's so beyond me.
No, but that's why I like to ask questions. I like to. I love it. Like especially now being back at the hospital, I love asking people, and I'm like, can you just explain it to me like an idiot? Because quite frankly, I would understand it better as it like on dumb terms than if you were to use like medical jargon, right? Like because there'll be some nurses like, oh, you know, like, and they'll throw out a slang or like a term, not slang, and I'll be like, I'll fully admit, don't understand it. Just explain it to me like an idiot. So I always broach it. I'm like, explain it to me like an idiot. So they dumb it down, and then I actually understand some shit, right?
And then you walk away going, hey, I learned something new.
You actually did, instead of like trying to defend your ego and made nothing of it. But I know everything. Everything there is to be. Now, you ask me a question, I can bullshit my way through anything.
How do taxes work?
Taxes are simple. Okay, we have to start with Xenu. Now...
All right, before we start this, I'm still stuck on chemtrails. Isn't that... Is it the normal one where it's just like a plane flying through the air?
Yeah, those
hitting...
are contrails.
Yeah.
That's literally just exhaust from a jet or something. When
Okay,
they go
it's the
over.
exhaust?
That's contrails. Yeah, those are like legitimate.
Is that the ones they're talking about?
No, chemtrails is ones where they...
Or like when it's actually shooting gas out of the plane?
Yeah, they
like
think those trails are actually the government putting like chemicals into the air to... I'll fully admit, I got so fed up with how dumb it sounded. I ironically did not research it.
But it's
as
actually,
I say it.
but it's actually the exhaust of the plane.
Yeah, no, that's what contrails are. Contrails are literally just exhaust of the plane interacting with the atmosphere.
So
that's why it looks like smoke and all, like, you know, when the jet goes overhead.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently, it is the belief that those condensation trails are chemtrails consisting of chemical or biological agents left in the sky by high-flying aircraft, sprayed for nefarious purposes, undisclosed to the general public.
Yeah, like, it says like, why is the government spraying us? Is that something like gay? Is it gonna make me gay? Like,
turn the friggin' frogs gay. But yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It sounds so dumb. And when the nurse was talking about it, I'm like, you do realize how stupid you sound right now, right?
Like, yeah, you have to realize. It's
like you're a nurse, you know medical science. And yet you believe this shit.
You should talk to a pilot first, and they'll literally just look and you go, "Oh no, that's the exhaust interacting with air particles."
But they don't look it up because they're dumb.
Or they'll go. That's what the pilots are paid to say.
Yeah.
Man, if we could afford to fucking bribe every fucking pilot, we could fix bridges.
I don't think pilots get paid all that much.
No, but to bribe them, you got to get a little extra.
Well, you know what? First, they need to
making
fix the
everyone
airports. So
have to fix the planes first.
they gotta go fix the airports. Hire enough people to get the airports running properly.
Yep.
Actually, and that's the problem with most conspiracies. If you actually back up and think, all right, for this to actually work, you're going to need a shit ton of high-end level government people, a lot of people on the ground, and a lot of just regular Joes who are hired to be a part of it.
There's just so much logistics behind it all to make it function. You're sitting there going, no one wants to deal with this shit.
Yeah. No, like, you can't get that level of organization among people in a room, let alone people in different government bodies.
Yeah, you can't get that organization trying to organize like a fucking volleyball tournament.
And that's why every time I hear it, I'm like, don't get me wrong, it bends and does all this stuff to explain everything as just, they're lying to you. Oh, that's really easy to say. Yeah. But most of it is just like, it's unfounded bullshit. And I'm like, if you believe it and you don't look up anything else, then unfortunately you're just dumb and you believe it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I've had... And that's mean to say, because even in that saying, it sounds like, because I know myself, I'm like, I'm not that smart. I can totally accept that. I know I'm smarter than people who believe in conspiracies. I'm not saying every conspiracy is a lie. I truly believe there's probably, I know there has to be shady shit happening behind the scenes, but never to that level. Or if it is, it's not nearly to that level of organization or control that they say it is.
Because, I mean, if you think about that level of, like, the organization that is required to keep something like that supposedly under wraps.
Immense.
And then you take a look at, what is it? My brother is trying to get his passport renewed. And it's been a year and a half since he submitted his application because of COVID. The office had to shut down. And now they're playing catch up. Like, he hasn't had a passport in 1.5 years.
Jesus Christ.
That's fucking
Have fun traveling.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And you think that is a branch of government. They're supposedly... they have all this logistics behind it where they can try and hide all these secrets.
But that's the normal government. There's the secret
shadow government.
Shadow government.
I think isn't that the one show about that actually? The one cartoon recently is about literally about the shadow government, and it's like a cartoon about the people that work in the shadow government.
Oh, I was thinking Eminence and Shadow, but that's a different.
No,
that's a different thing.
But like every time I hear all this thing, all it is that you, unfortunately, are either too lazy to research anything, or you're too dumb to grasp the concept of what it really is.
Well, yeah.
I don't know which one it is. half the time.
Yeah, it's either
because either like someone like you trust, like Sil was saying,
or
stupidity. Or like Sil was saying, if someone they trust says something, they believe it.
Right.
Unfortunately, in and of itself, if you're not researching anything yourself, like don't be wrong, if like I remember Joe Rogan was going off about DMT and like elk meat and shit like that. I'm like, that sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I'm like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
I actually looked it up because I was curious. I was genuinely curious. I'm like, how much of this is just bullshit? Like DMT, and like some people have had some opening experiences, but a lot of it, I just think is like you have nothing else to do, so you're doing drugs and it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, like stuff like that where I'm like, if you don't even question it slightly and want to research it, then either you're lazy or you're just
Gullible.
dumb. Yeah, or I think if you're gullible, you're dumb usually.
And I think
I don't know. Gullible, I think, is
you're
more
right,
naive.
That's not fair.
Yeah,
it's not fair to put to intelligence. Gullible can be either way.
And it's tough when, like, even if you tried to research it and if you just end up at the wrong sources, not maliciously,
Yeah.
you didn't seek out the wrong things, it's just you misinterpreted a few articles or you read certain news sites and it just ended up with that perspective. I was kind of thinking how, in my eyes, a good conspiracy starts with a grain of truth.
It has to. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're speaking in the back of the mic.
Fuck it, I don't want to hear myself.
But yeah, it starts as something
There's,
that is...
there's like a base
Like a good
truth.
lie.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
that's
start there and then you expand upon. I was kind of thinking of like the one with, the rich elite people are like vampires.
Oh, yeah.
Drinking blood and all that. And it's like, okay, the truth probably comes from one of them is getting blood transfusions.
From like an embryo or something.
From a younger or healthier person or an embryo or like some scientific. And maybe there's something there that actually helps.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they're not literally going out and drinking the blood of children in beds.
And yeah, and they're not hiring these people to be fucking walking blood.
No. But I know
clinics,
what you
or they
mean.
could be, but it'd be voluntary or something. So it's like it takes something where it's like
A legitimate thing, and then
it's a little bit weird, and then they just
Well, Dan, how like what is like the limit to donating blood? Like how many times can you do it within like a month or something?
Well, it depends
I don't know
on your
that.
blood.
it's only once a.
It's once
Every
in
2
a
months?
period. No, I
Yeah.
don't remember the period. I just know. Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember if I'm honest.
Okay, because I mean, essentially, it's like it'd be like a rich person paying you to donate
Yeah,
blood
just
to
to them.
Yeah.
No, and then, see that's what I'm saying. Like what Ray's saying is, it starts out like it's kind of weird, but whatever. That's not creepy.
As long
It's-
as they're consensual, getting
like-
paid for
like
it.
If you were
Whatever.
like a rich person, you said there's a young person here that has the healthiest blood in the world. They take care of themselves. Why wouldn't you be like, yeah, sure, I'll get good stuff, rather than the homeless man that popped in after the ER or something? Oh, maybe not after ER. But you know what I mean? Like you would be probably pretty selective if you could be.
Yeah.
But then what anyone else would see is like, yeah, they're vampires. They're sucking the blood off of out of like virgin blood or something.
yeah,
weird shit.
children.
Yeah. So I think it'd be blown up, but that's why I'm like, if you believe the blown out story and you don't look at it at all as like that might be wrong, I'm like that is probably a red flag that you just I don't know are not.
Yeah.
Took everything at face
You know what I mean?
value.
Like everybody's got like weird quirks and shit like that, and just like rich people have the money to delve into it.
Yeah.
Oh, dear
Like
God.
if a random person walked up to you and was willing to pay you $10,000 to sit and pretend to be like sit in a diaper and pretend to be like a baby for like an hour.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. $10,000
for an hour.
I have zero pride. Zero.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. Like that's their quirk. If they want to pay for it and you're okay with it, then
Then hey, it's consenting. Anything consenting to an extent.
Yeah. And then that's when people view it from the outside going,
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
What is
But you're
this?
sitting here. I'm just trying to get my rocks off with my baby boy.
yeah. and then your baby boy's going, I'm being paid $10,000. I got paid $10,000 for
Your
an
baby
hour.
boy also happens to be a plumber named Earl.
Yeah, but he's got a car to pay off.
Yeah,
baby
Carter-
boy's like, yeah, you time's up.
You
want another
You
hour?
want me to Google Gaga? Get better put a few thousands in this guy's account. Well, I don't know how that would work. I'll shit my pants for $1 million.
But it's when people talk about stuff like weird stuff about like Jeff Bezos and stuff like that and the money that he's spending on weird things. I'm like, yeah, he's got fuck you money.
Man,
he can do
like,
whatever the fuck
if
he
you
wants.
had that kind of money, you're gonna tell me you wouldn't do eccentric shit?
Yeah, you would.
It's like I would own a fucking tiger just cause.
Yeah. The only thing I will say with him, I don't think you can get to a position like that a lot of times if you're not slightly less empathetic.
Yeah, that's the
Like
thing.
you kind of have to be a bit of a setup, like not care about people, because I'm like, I can never be in this situation because the way he treats his workers, I feel like guilt complex I would never be able to handle. But at the same time, if you did get to that point and you had that much money, like Bill Gates, I think is one of the businessmen where I have no doubt in my mind he stepped on a few toes, but ultimately he seems quite humanitarian. And even for him, it's like You can spend and like he is a great human being that's like half his fortune he's put
like,
into charity
and like when he dies, like all of it goes.
And like all of it's gone, but at the same time, he could totally just go and be like, I'm gonna buy an island because I can.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hunt a person.
I'm gonna hunt a person on my island, and you could.
I would get a tiger pit, but I would put it right outside Dan's door.
Ooh.
So he's got to jump over the tiger pit in order to go to the kitchen.
I don't know. No, you can't. You can't
fill it. I just walk into the pit.
See, you can't fill it with tigers. It's got to be something he's afraid of. So sharks.
Yeah, it's a shark pit.
That actually would. I'd shit my pants. Are they attracted to shit? What if I shit my pants up? Do you think they'd leave me alone like a deterrent? Like, you know how you see
like bears or something like that. You're supposed to defecate.
Yeah. Bears wouldn't work because they eat carcasses. You can defecate all you want. Bear would still eat you.
Yeah.
They literally eat. They're scavengers. Technically, they're not really hunters as much as they are scavengers. That's why they always scare wolves off. Wolves get a kill and the bear goes, well, la-di-da. Look what he got over here.
Like, if I got a shit ton of money, I'm going to start, like a fight club thing with homeless people and pay them $10,000 to participate in a UFC league of just...
Yeah. Well, they'd be bad fights, though, unless it's to the death.
I think there's desperation. There's enough desperation there.
Yeah, but they'd be so malnourished.
Yeah, but $10,000 when you're homeless, like that's...
Yeah, but like $10,000, you can only fight. Hey, give him crack before.
Give him crack.
Give him something like amp him up. No, because like if you don't have like drugged out strength, they're not going to be doing much. Like,
you never know.
Hey, I've seen them OD when they are strong as fuck. Like they can hold you back. Like I remember 87-year-old guy, dude, like strong as can be. Fucking, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what the hell? Drugs make you crazy. So if you give them I would say private island, and my first thing would just be to hunt people. For sure, I'd hunt people. Because, like, that'd be the ultimate sport. You know what I mean? Like, getting someone and just, like, tell them, like, I'll give you 12 hours head start. When in reality, I have, like, the entire island map with, like, cameras and shit, so I'd know anywhere they were. And it'd just be, like, a game.
Watch. Dan's like, you have a 12-hour head start. And then Dan just leaves the island. And leaves that person to be scared. And then, like, comes back, like, 2 weeks later. It's like, oh, yeah, that was a joke. You can go home.
They just had a panic attack. No, I'm being very sarcastic. Holy shit, I sound terrible, don't I? No, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you were those... Like, if I have no doubt in my mind, that has been a legitimate thing for a lot of rich people. Like, I'm bored. I'm going to hunt somebody. Ugh.
I mean, isn't that like what those like rich white people do? They go to Africa and do those bounty.
Oh, the lions, and they like hunt. And remember that dentist?
Yeah.
Hunted a lion illegally and like got its teeth. Was so proud. Everyone's like, "You're such a piece of shit."
I think his practice went under because of it.
Good. Should have. He's a fucking asshole.
But I mean, yeah, like if you got fuck you money, I could imagine myself going, yeah, I'm just gonna buy like like Humvees for all my friends. We're just going to go into the middle of the field and just try and run each other over.
That's fun. Yeah. Like, oh, you know what actually I'd do? I already know what I'd do. If I had a lot of money, I would go out of my way, any cause or something I really hated, like Westboro Baptist Church, shit like that, I would pay year-round for people just to fuck with them. Like, minorly inconvenience them. Like, every time they're going to go out to, like, a rally, drive in front of them a little bit too slow. Like, weird shit like that. Like, who would another one be? Like, for example, like the whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing. I would totally pay, like, a bunch of people just, like, stand outside her house dressed as shit or something like that and be like, Amber Turd. Like, stupid things. I would pay people's money just to minorly inconvenience people I didn't like. That's totally what I would do. I'd be like, I want you to hold a picket rally outside of Fred's house. Why Fred? You didn't invite me to my birthday.
Oh, God. I'm so fucked if Dan gets a lot of money.
I would say you and my friends would definitely be Hunt Island. Like, I want to hunt you for sport.
Oh, I was worried a little bit. I thought he was going to minorly inconvenience me.
No, it'd be a hunt.
Dan would give you, like, you have 12 hours, and I would just put a chair and sit right down.
I would just hang myself immediately.
Ray's like, I'm here now. No sense waiting, baby.
No sense waiting.
Get a tan.
No, but, like, I would totally use my money just to minorly inconvenience people. Or, like, for example, you know, like that game, like that whole GameStop thing that everyone was freaking out. That I would invest in shit like that just to fuck with other people. Be like, yeah, okay, I'll get into GameStop now too.
I just bought all the shares.
Yeah. Or like,
I'm the sole owner of GameStop.
Or like, case in point,
the stock is worth nothing.
Like,
I've closed it down.
What was another one I had and I was really excited about it? Oh, like if I didn't like a teacher from my school, I would like pay people to review bomb them and shit. That'd be fun. I don't pay people. I could just do it myself. Fuck. I should. Actually,
but that's
I'm gonna do that today. That'd be fun. I'm gonna review bomb my instructor. He's such an arsehole. Either way, he's old and he'll pass from this life soon enough.
Your time is limited.
Oh, he's just. You know what it is? It's because I have no sympathy for people, and I say that unironically as a person that talks about weird shit. I am intrinsically, I'm a kind person. I'm not an actual asshole. I like to play the part. But in the sense that, like, I can't stand people that are mean, like, genuinely mean-spirited. And he's one of those people, and I'm like, I just wish you weren't here around people. I'm like, just go live in your basement, your sad life with your wife that doesn't love you.
So he's, like, a genuinely bad person?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, he hates people. He hates students. He makes people cry.
Why are you a teacher?
Because he likes money, and it's easy money. And he used to have a very prestigious job, and later in life he got undercut. He actually ran the program that I'm in, but then got kicked out 2 years ago. Because now he's a teacher. Ironically, the person before him was even worse. But I just think to myself, I'm like, oh no, the second I see someone that's like genuinely mean, I'm like, I hate so much about the things you choose to be.
Actually, and that kind of comes back to a little bit with the conspiracy. Why people are just like want to be angry.
I don't get it, because they are. I think because they have a lot of shit in their life and they don't know how to channel it, and they just stew in it.
Yeah.
Because like no one that's that angry has a good life. There's no way you have a fucking good life if you're that pissed off.
If anything good happens, you'd be angry about it.
You'd be angry about it. Like there's a guy. This was about 2 years ago. A guy that was rear-ending me, not rear-ending. What's the word when they're tailgating?
Oh yeah.
Like he's tailgating me, and like for like a solid and I was passing cars on the left. And, like, I was going 10 miles over or 10 kilometers over the speed limit. Like, enough. I was passing him, and he was behind me, like, tailgating for at least, like, half a mile as I got through, like, a big block of traffic. Thank you.
I have.
And at the very end, I'm like, oh, fuck this guy. So he goes by, and I flip him with a bird because I'm like, fuck you. He gets so upset by that. He comes back behind me. And for another, like, half a mile, yelling, like yelling at his like steering wheel and shit. I'm like, oh my god, and I'm laughing the whole time. Jesus. This is hilarious. He comes up beside me like, you piece of shit, like roll down your window, and I'm just laughing the whole time. He can see me laughing. It makes it worse. We get to the parking lot outside of Dollarama because I'm going to the gym, and I get out and he parks like 2 stalls next to me and gets out of his car and tries to fight me. And he's this big fat construction guy. He's like, you piece of shit, who the fuck do you think you are, flipping me the bird and all that. And I'm laughing. I'm still laughing the whole time. And he literally, he pushes me, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you're such a joke. I'm like, you're such a joke. And he keeps laughing over and over. Or like, I keep laughing. It makes him more angry. And then I just remember, like, towards the end of it, I remember just saying, and this is the first time where I had an argument where I like a shower argument. It actually worked out in my favor. I just sat there. I'm like, what kind of grown man follows someone for 1.5 miles after they flip them a bird and tries to fight them in a parking lot? I'm like, you must be very mentally stable, aren't you? He's like, yeah, I'm mentally stable enough to beat your ass. I'm like, case in point. But like, and then I go to walk away. He's like, you gonna go in the gym and pull your pud with the other guys? I'm like, well, at least I can see mine. You know, like, and I actually hit some zingers. And on the way out, he's like, well, you don't want to fucking fight? I'm like, no. He's like, why not? You don't think? He's like, yeah, because you know I beat your ass. I'm like, no, because I'm just better than you. I'm better than you, and I know it. And I laughed away, and he tried to kick me and fell over. And it was the best thing and I literally went inside laughing. I was like, the whole time I'm laughing. And I get inside, I'm like, that was the best thing ever. I'm like, oh, fuck, he might try to screw with my car. He left. But then I sat there, I'm like, I should move my car in case he tries to fuck with me. But immediately, I'm like, that man cannot have a good life, right? Like, if you follow someone for 1.5 miles trying to fight them over them flipping you off, you can't have a stable life, right? Not a good one, anyway.
No, he's very insecure of himself.
God. Right? I'm like, shit, I can make fun of myself. I'm like, that's the type of guy who made one joke. But it was a shower argument. I hit every note I wanted to. Like, essentially got to call him fat, got to make fun of the fact that he is a very stable, old, like 45 plus man that followed a guy into a parking lot trying to fight him. Oh, I felt great. That was great.
I mean, at that level of anger
and
action requires so much dedication that can be just, if you just tweaked it somewhere else, you get so much accomplished.
100%, but it won't be. Yeah, he does not seem like the happiest man. It was funny because the whole interaction, I got to laugh at him in his face. He could do nothing about it other than he pushed me once. Okay, whatever. And I just remember leaving, and I'm like, I win. I did everything, like I did nothing wrong, and you're just pissed off. And I live in your. I know I lived in his head rent free for how long, I don't know. A few days at least. But I loved it. I'm like, get fucked. I'm like, you can't control yourself that much. Like you're that much of a child.
And like, even if everything went the way he wanted to, he follows you to the parking lot. He goes, let's fight, and you go, okay, let's fight, and you both beat the shit out of each other. He just got the shit kicked out of him. Maybe he beat up the other guy too, but you're gonna get the shit kicked out of you.
And then maybe he gets a. And the thing is, all I can think is on myself. I'm like, I'm in a Dollarama parking lot. You try anything, buddy, you're done. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
So the best case scenario, you fight him, right? He wins. What does he get out of that story? He charges. He follows. He gets a story where he tells his friends that he followed some guy for a mile and a half just to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then worst case scenario, you fight him, he loses, and
he gets off on assault charges because he's still trying to attack me.
Yeah. So either way, it's a lose scenario.
No, but he's so dumb and so angry he can't realize it.
I was just thinking, like, you know how they always, when they're telling the story themselves, they're making it themselves like the right person.
Like this guy.
He was in the left lane doing
clipped my car
under the speed limit, and I was trying to pass him, and he wouldn't let me pass, and then he flipped me off. Yeah. So then I chased him to a parking lot and challenged him to a fight. It's like, even when you make it sound the best it can for you,
it still sounds bad.
Your friends would still look at there and be like, "Wait, so he flipped you off?" Yeah, and then you challenge him to a fight. Yeah. What the fuck?
No, but I'm guessing his friends wouldn't be smart enough to realize. They'd probably go, "Fuck yeah, bro!
Yeah,
you
fuck that guy! You kick his ass!"
Yeah, and then like he would have. Yeah, it's like then beat his ass and like yelled, "Black Lives Matter." Pretty sure I saw that. I was trying to think how else he would have like spun it to make it seem better. It's like, yeah, and I yelled, "Black Lives Matter, dick out for Harambe," and then I went.
And there was a homeless guy, and I gave him $10.
And then I gave him dollars when donated blood.
Yeah.
You know me. Beating up bitches, donating blood. No, but like, yeah, I know. I just thought about them like afterwards. I remember the whole time that made my day like you wouldn't believe. Like I was on cloud 10 the rest of the day. I decided I'm like, what mental illness? Nothing. I'm fine.
That's incredible.
It was lovely. It was the best experience. I low key hoped. I'm like, I hope someone does that again. Because like, don't be wrong. Hey, maybe next time I get socked, but I don't fucking care. I can recover from any punch. I'm like, good luck recovering from a lawsuit.
I'll never financially recover from this.
Actually, though, on the same note, the only thing I'll say about guys like that, and the problem with guys like that, if you think about it, he came up to me, and I would consider myself, even though I'm weird, and I fully admit that, I am mentally stable enough to not...
Ish.
Yeah, but I'm saying, could you imagine him doing that to anyone else? Let's say someone that just got out of, or the Dubay Center, mentally unstable, or someone out of prison. They win something for anger management, and you come at them in a parking lot, and they beat the living shit out of you. I'm like, what? Yeah, like you're saying, like, what's the best case scenario there?
Or like he opens the door to get out of his car, and he sees an elderly woman just trying to struggle to get out of the driver's seat. There, does he still go and berate that woman? He's like,
probably
a fight I can win.
Unfortunately, the answer is probably
that's the thing. That's probably and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's so idiotic and so angry, he can't think because he's a moron. And I enjoyed that.
Cloud of anger.
Oh, it's so fun though, because the whole time, like, I'm not, like, laughing, like, still seeing me when I've been truly happy, Paul Blart. Like, I had like serious moments where, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I can't ever be happy, but like, it's fleeting. Like, I have moments that are fleeting, but that whole day I was so ecstatic. I remember I left the gym and I was so amped up. I went for a jog. I never fucking jog. I'm like, I should do something still. I'm still amped up. Maybe I'll see him on my jog. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
It was a good time.
But for his case, right? Could you imagine? Yeah, fucking with the one person that's nothing to lose. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Or like he pisses off like a Hell's Angel or something.
Yeah, you piss off the wrong guy.
Well, I was gonna say, like, not in Canada, but in America, do not try that shit.
Oh yeah, well,
everyone has a gun.
And everyone has a gun. And everyone's ready to sue you too.
You were about to get fucking shot, bro.
Yeah. I know, it's funny though, because I'm like, you are a very stable old man.
Man, and like, man, does that fuck with you? Because like, anger and rage and hate just wrecks your body so bad.
Oh, it kills you. It's you know what, the one, I think it's off one show, and it was a like corny line, but he's like, what is it? He's like, hate is corrosive, like acid. It just eats away at you.
Yeah. But like, medically.
Your anger doesn't hurt anyone else but you.
Yeah.
Until you punch
someone. Until you take it out.
That is not your anger. That's you.
I don't know. That's pretty much. I think that's my anger I'm punching with.
Sure. Or like when people say like, "Oh, I get angry when I drink whiskey." I'm like, "No, you're just angry."
No, you're just angry.
And you're just blaming it because now you're drunk.
Because now you don't have those.
You don't have logic in your inhibitions to stop you.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, you're just an angry person that now has less things stopping you.
Would you say that's true?
When you drink? Yeah.
No, I'm saying like a person who drinks and turns a certain way.
It's already been that. Yeah, that's true.
It's the underlying personality, and when you drink, all the sort of barriers that you use societally or emotionally to stop you from acting out.
Yeah, so maybe you're more goofy or you're more emotional. Like, I know everyone like, hey, fuck, I've had an ugly cry. I can admit that. Ooh, that's an ugly cry.
Yeah, 7-year-old
cry. Yeah.
Ugly. No, but like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone has like and Jayson, right? Like, drunk words are sober thoughts, or like drunk thoughts are drunk words are sober thoughts. I fucked it up 2 times. But, like, it is true though. Like, you see a lot of people like when they get drunk. I'm not saying you get drunk and like, because usually like for me, I get drunk and I get goofy. I get more over the top. I get more like more boisterous. Like, I'm not angry. I'm just more goofy. That's and like I can get more sad for sure at the end of the night. I can get more sad. But like, yeah, I never have gotten angry. And
no, it's just like when we were back in university, we'd go out to the bars, or whatever, and you see like those like bro guys just get like aggressive.
Yeah.
When they get even more and more drunk, it's just because that's just their personality
is aggressive.
Underneath it all.
Yeah, and now it's showing more because their inhibitions are gone. They're like, oh, society. Normally, I'm not going to tell that guy to go fuck himself, but now I can.
So Sylvan becomes even more of a carpenter.
I actually have never seen him. I've only seen him drunk once. I was at a
Sylvan
wedding.
gets absolutely plastered.
Oh God, Connor's wedding.
No, you're social. You're friendly.
Yeah.
No, he's not angry. He's just like more friendly, more like wanting to talk.
No. Sylvan gets absolutely hammered, and he'll build you a 2-story house.
Doable.
Might not be straight, but
it's not square. It's not level. Nothing's plumb. But it'll keep the wind out.
It's
maybe.
definitely not straight. I saw it fucking the Garden Shack.
That was one time in college.
You're gay forever now.
Fuck a pig one
time. They call me Garden Curious. Grad's Curious.
The Garden of Eden, baby.
Yeah.
What?
Sublet.
Do you even know what that means, Dan?
Yes.
Yes, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm testing you.
And I cease to. I will deny or I will resist. I will not elaborate further.
Yeah. I will agree and then change the subject. So we're all angry at chemtrails.
Yep. That's what I got from this.
Yeah.
I'm angry. I think, you know what? Women must be terrible because they don't want to date me, right? So it must be their fault.
God, we're going in.
I'm
just kidding. No, what is it? I had a YouTube because I watched and like there's this YouTube franchise or this thing going on about Ziz, the weightlifter, and it's like a bunch of uplifting shit, and it's like TikToks of women going like, oh, I'm not gonna date you unless you're over 6 foot, and then it's like a picture of Ziz going. It's like opinion heard, opinion invalid, opinion rejected, and like shit like that. It's like don't worry, bros, we're gonna make it. Like it's a bunch of like uplifting shit, which I kind of like. And then I realized though that still is like an off branch of the incel community probably.
Oh,
so I got one.
It's the happier version.
It is, and I realized after I'm like I just thought it was a nice uplifting message. Like don't let people talk you down, or like one where it's like a guy being like, or it's a guy being like, if your biceps aren't over 18 inches, you're not a real man. And then it says it's like opinion heard, rejected. Keep going, bras. We're gonna make it. Like it doesn't. It's just all about people getting like that. But then there's definitely a shoot of it. And I got a YouTube recommendation. It was a dissertation by a guy for like 40 minutes talking about why like women are legitimately. It's like why women were evolutionary meant to be subservient. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, dude, what planet do you live on? I'm like, really though, because like I get it to an extent. Like I remember. Broken up with girlfriend for like a week, you're heartbroken. You go, women are the worst and they're terrible and they hurt. Yeah. No, you're heartbroken and you're hurting. And after that, you're fine. You're like, no, I love women. I got hurt. But some of these guys, I'm like, did you just go your whole life and everyone hated you or what? Or like, that's what I'm saying. The hate and anger, like they have so much.
They just have so much of it,
and it's irrational. And they're like, women are nothing but breeding cesspools. I'm like, the fuck.
I'd be curious about. Like, as much as I don't want to listen to that guy talking for 40 minutes, I just kind of want to see where he's coming from. Like, what angle are you approaching?
I listened a little bit, and it's like some pseudoscience bullshit, and it's about evolutionarily why their bone structure was less, and we had more muscles, so we were meant to hunt. And I'm like, that doesn't. I'm like, either way, it's such a. He's grasping at fucking straws.
And just twist.
Because I don't know, it was about because I literally heard it, and I'm like, same thing. I'm like, this is so fucking out there. And like and thank God YouTube got rid of dislikes because that guy, I'm sure that video was removed at one point. But yeah, it was just like his pseudoscience of caveman days and why like cavemen had many wives. And I'm like, that's what the fuck are you talking about?
I think that was a while ago, buddy.
And he's literally talking. He's like now. And then he got into the Bible, and I'm like, oh fuck off. Yeah, I'm like, you're literally mixing science and now faith. With the Bible goes, like the Bible knew in early Hebrew times that women were possessed. Like a possession. That's what the cavemen knew. I'm like, this is such a fucking like.
He is coming at it from all angles.
All I know is that, like,
I'm taking all my ammo on this one.
Anyway, and that's what, like, and I'll admit that's kind of what got me down the conspiracy trade of thing. He had originally some legitimately scientific, like, fossil records. He had some of that, and then just off that kernel took it into a dimension that I didn't even know. And I'm like, you're so fucking stupid.
The other thing I don't understand about incels is that they're all together a group of hate.
Yep.
But if one of them all of a sudden decides to break that cycle and, get a girlfriend or something like that, everybody else will absolutely hate on the one guy.
Yep, because you broke the code.
He's a normie now, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever they call it.
Like I don't like.
Why don't you go worship?
Because he's not.
Why don't you go worship your goddess? Yeah.
It's because they're just mad they can't get girlfriends. So when someone actually does it, they're like, "Well, that's not fair. Come on, bro."
Yeah, you're one of us.
It's just like if you come at it at a logical brain, go, okay,
Oh,
you guys
okay. Well, there's your problem right there.
you guys are all in this one state, and you want to be in another state. One of you guys gets into that state, and instead of congratulating him and trying to be like him, you go, no, you shut him out and shun him. You're
well, their problem is that they have a state where they believe it's like an elevated state. They're like, no, we're going to get to a state where we realize we don't need women. We're better off without them, but we're just going to use and abuse them. They say that, ironically, as like 40-year-old overweight guys living in a basement. Yeah, you're going to use and abuse some women. But like in the same, but that's their ideal. Like you're going to reach an elevated state of being. And in reality, it's human nature. You want to be with somebody. That's human nature. And these guys go, no, we've been perverted by society. We don't need women. We just need each other. Which is weird because it would be almost like a gay movement. Like, hey, bros, that's just, hey, I'll suck you off. You suck me.
Yeah, but that's the funny part because you're like, we're going to elevate beyond needing women. And then their entire platform is about women and shit.
I know.
It's like, I thought you were getting past this here.
Well, they were. No, essentially the entire movement is the cry from an unloved man. That's what it is. I don't know. I have yet to see anyone in there be like any guy that you go look at and go, you are a looker. A lot of them are just like unkempt and ungay. Yeah. Like I'm not saying they're only just ugly guys, but a lot of them are just like, well. Yeah, but you're probably ugly because you don't work on yourself.
If you put some effort in yourself,
you might actually be. And then a lot of them think, "Oh, it's women's fault." Maybe you're the problem.
We're gonna go and say all the women have the same problem.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe it's just me.
Or maybe that one person.
What's the common denominator in all these relationships you've been in? Is it just you? Yeah, that's the common denominator. Well, no, a lot of them haven't been in relationships, or they're divorced guys. And to be fair, some of the divorced guys, I remember. Because I spent I literally about a week after, and I was in one forum about a guy talking about divorce. That actually gets pretty shitty. Like some of them get so fucked over on that, and not people that don't deserve it. That aspect is a bit dicey. I don't want to get into that. But a lot of them are just sad men who've never been in a relationship and go, women don't want me, but I'm awesome. I must be awesome. So they must be the problem. Like, the Principal Skinner meme?
Am I out of touch?
Am I out of touch? No, it's the children that are out of. That's what it is. They're so in their own fucking world.
But I'm awesome. Mm-hmm. Why won't they recognize my awesomeness?
I have a strong barbarian on Diablo 3 in my PS3 account at my cabin with no internet connection, and they don't even care. What's wrong with them? I actually, speaking of the devil, I do in fact have a barbarian. Okay, but the thing about it that's really impressive and that my friends don't understand, he's been offline for the longest time, and he's cleared decent riffs. He's cleared some good riffs. Okay, he's a good guy.
Do you play some good riffs?
You guys have seen my barbarian before, right?
Yeah, you showed us at your cabin.
You made us see.
Do I do it every time?
Every time. Yeah.
Hey, we should do it again. I need to show you.
I want to go to his cabin.
Hey, yeah, we could.
We should actually go there.
I'd be fine going up to your cabin again.
Yeah, I would.
I will look at your barbarian.
The only condition is that everyone needs to look at my barbarian, and whether they can be fake about it, but everyone has to give me a compliment on my barbarian.
We have to start clapping.
Yep.
Standing ovation.
Please clap.
Please clap. Please clap. I love using that line. Or my favorite line is I use it in Rheal a lot because I'm very clingy. I come upstairs. I'm like, you like me, right? You guys like me, like the Mac.
You guys are my friends, right?
That's always Sunny. I'm like, identify with Mac a lot. And then when he's in Ireland, he's like, okay, so I'm a gay man first, then I'm an Irish man, then I'm a Catholic man. Those are my identities. Like, no, you're just.
It doesn't work that way, Mac.
You don't just go to a bar and go, what would an Irish man drink? You just drink what you drink, Mac. They'll get mad at him. And
he's like, okay, I'm not Irish, so now I'm just a gay man, so I'm going to try and fuck everybody here.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Always Sunny.
Yeah, it's a good series.
I gotta poop.
Oh,
All right. Well, I was also gonna. I mean, if you want to go poop, you can go poop.
Yeah.
We can carry on.
No, we can keep going. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how long. I don't know how long we go.
No. Speaking about Sunny, it's a sitcom about just horrible people doing horrible things together.
Yeah.
I've been trying to write a sitcom about something along the similar lines.
Yeah.
Featuring Dan as my main character.
Oh yeah.
And you know, that's just one of the things I've just been working on all summer, and I want to have something done by either the end of this month or the end of next month.
I'll be the first to view it for authenticity.
I think you have to be a part of it.
Yeah, but technically,
I mean, if I could get a decent enough script, I'd love to do a table read.
Yeah, I could do it. I could be. I would play. I could play myself pretty well.
Yeah. So like the last couple of weeks here.
Really embody him.
I don't know. I think Christian Bale would do a better job.
Yeah, but that's Christian Bale.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks I've been running like through scenarios with Dan about like what his character would do in certain situations.
I'm getting an insight into what I would be like if I didn't have as much of a guilt complex and I had more of an ego.
Oh god.
It would be a bit of a monster, I will admit.
Straight up.
I think the part that makes me more human and hopefully likable is the fact that even if I say a bunch of shitty things, I actually have an incredibly hyperactive guilt complex. So I don't do those things, but I like to talk about them. Whereas, what would happen if I didn't have the guilt complex and I had more of an ego?
Yeah. Like I'm fine with sharing this. Like one of the plot points is that his girlfriend breaks up with him because she doesn't see herself having a family with Dan, and so to prove a point, Dan shows up at her doorstep after they've broken up with like a baby strapped to his chest and like, here we go. I can start a family. I'm here to prove that I can start a family with you. Yeah. And I kind of ran that by Dan. Dan's like, no, I wouldn't do that. You know what I would do? I would hire another family, a wife and kid, show up at the doorstep and go, hey, guess what? I have a family now, and I don't need you to start a family.
Yeah.
So screw
I'd shove
you.
it in their face. I'm like, I've replaced you. Here's Oksana. And she's clearly a Russian mail order bride that I just had in for one. Yeah. Or, better yet, I'd go to her family's place and tell her that I'd tell her family, like, you know what, I'm sorry, she died in a tragic accident, but I'm here to be your son that you never had, and replace her out of her own family. That could be another thing. I'd be like, by the way, you're not even a part of your family, and you don't even have your own family. You have nobody. You're alone. Not me though. I have your family now. That could be another thing, but that's probably more like you don't spend enough time with your family. That'd be a different plot point. Yeah, I would totally show up with a fake family.
So yeah, I've just been running through scenarios with him and trying to string a bunch of these plot points together into an episode.
The problem you have to figure out is if it's a sitcom, if my character is despicable, you have to have at least one aspect where either there's someone that gets things over on my character that makes it like the people root for, because you can't just have.
There's got to be empathizing points to each character, something that you can relate.
That's
to.
What I'm saying. So there has to be either humanizing moments with me or someone else to put me in my place.
And I think like writing from because generically across the board, our generation is the sad, anxious, depressed millennials. Yep. So you know.
Oh, hit the mental health.
Yeah. I think there's something along those lines that if I show that you're either depressed, anxious, or sad,
they get some sympathy or something.
Yeah.
Rheal is your therapist.
Yeah.
Actually, Ray's character, I did write a Ray character, but he's a non-speaking character. He just kind of nods and just like
thumbs up.
is there, and he'll try to speak, but Dan will just blurt out and like overtake the conversation.
You know what I should do? A lot of times I'd be like, "Hey, Ray, what do you think?" And then he'll start telling me, "I knew it. See." And like I'll use it.
No, that's one of the things is you and Ray are sitting there and you're talking about how your girlfriend broke up with you and how she didn't want to start a family, and you ask his opinion on something, and he's about to speak. You know what? You're right, Ray. Yeah. I should show her that I can be a family man. I should show up at her door with a kid.
My own family.
Yeah.
Then she'll have to be
great idea, Rheal.
Better yet.
And then you go, great idea, Ray, and you walk off, and Ray's sitting there going,
And then I'll go, and then not only will I bring one family, I'll bring one family and like 4 different wives. I'll say, you got to try out now. You got to try out for my family. And then she won't want to, but I'll force her into it because I have Russian mafia ties. Because I got Oksana. Oksana's from the Russian mob boss. I got her a visa, so now he owes me. I got to poop.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But other than that, oh damn, he's really gassy.
Oh.
That was loud. That was audible. I mean, other than working on that, I start up my new my classes again for my CPA program.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Finance starts actually today. I got access to the class.
Cool.
Nice.
And I've been doing a lot of, I guess, introspective, retrospective thinking.
Oh God, I was actually gonna make a joke, but you said the real thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make your joke, go make
I was
your
like,
joke.
oh, you've been doing a lot of soul searching, and then you went there.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I just feel bad.
I mean, what I like to do is I like to, I don't know, take some free time every now and then, just reflect on the state of things currently and what I enjoy and if I want to make it better or not.
I think we talked about that when Stefan was on the podcast, right?
I think
Where
so.
you have to take a moment to like look at yourself.
Well, his whole thing was like actually look at where you want to be in like 5 or 10
Looking
years,
in
like
the future.
like where do you see yourself in that?
Right. Okay.
Like, and people constantly like say like where do you want to be in 5 years, but actually sit down and think of like where you want to be and like the steps it would take to get there.
Right. Okay. Whereas this is more of a how am I doing right now?
Yeah. Because I mean, like I don't know. I've been in accounting for a little while now and get my CPA program, and I find myself sitting there thinking about, it's like, is this something that I really, really want to go down, or is this just the path that I'm sort of like following along because I'm already on it? Right.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of thinking like, I don't know. It's me sitting there going, do I like what I'm doing? Do I like my job? And I'm finding that most times I go and say, it's just what I'm doing right now. So
there is no, yes, I'm happy about this, or I'm passionate about this.
Yeah, it's just what I'm doing, and it's just because maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's like maybe it's just because I'm already on that track. Why hop off?
Yes. And I can see that because it's so much easier to just follow along the track. You have to have something serious to try and push you off the track or to jump off yourself.
Yeah.
It has to be, you need a good amount of momentum for that one. So I can see how it would take like
it'd be a big life change to.
Yeah, well, it'd feel like you'd need an event where it's like something happens and you go, oh, okay, now let's make a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do that every so often, and I sit and I think about, if I really want to be doing this, and most of the time it's like I'm good at the job. I'm great at it. I'm doing all the schooling to be better at it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, is there anything else I'd rather be doing right now? And I can't really think of anything. So it's like, I don't know if it's, I have a passion for this, or if it's, I'm just stuck in I'm already on this path kind of thing. Yeah.
It's tough. I don't know. I was going to say, even just sitting down and trying to be introspective is difficult. Like it's hard to actually ask yourself questions and try to be real with yourself. Because you're always trying to come up with excuses or reasons for why things were. But obviously you know yourself best, so you can't. It's harder to lie to yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, like we all follow different paths and lines. Because I mean, like you and me, we graduated university together, and we're in totally different fields.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like sitting down and just thinking about what makes you happy, and what you enjoy, and trying to find whatever that is.
Well, it's not only like what you enjoy, but even just like what you didn't enjoy. Like Rheal, got your degree and you got a job in the bank. You were like, I fucking hate this.
You worked 2 weeks in an office and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm leaving.
That one was stupid. I don't even count that one. That was walking into a bombshell. But yeah, the one at the bank, that was a legit waking up moment. Where
Yeah,
it's like,
where, like,
oh, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's like, this is not what I want to do.
Yeah. It was pretty easily and readily apparent, so that one wasn't a...
Yeah.
It
wasn't
tough.
you spent 5 years in the job and you're like, now I don't like it, but I'm kind of ingrained.
I've moved up a few things and I'm making enough money and it's hard to walk out.
Actually, I'll ask Dan about this too, because he's done a bit of a change.
Oh God,
partway
you're
through.
the introspective master.
Yeah, because like sometimes in the last little while I take introspective and retrospective moments just to think about certain aspects of my life and
100%.
if I enjoy it or what I could do to change it. And I've been thinking lately about like my career trajectory and path. Like I've been 2 years into accounting, and I'm working towards my CPA, and I'm thinking about whether or not I like this, or if I have a passion for it, or if it's just I'm doing this because it's already what I've dipped myself into. Mm-hmm. And for you, Dan, you've been a nurse's aide, or however you want to put it. It's just noise from the hallway there.
What the hell is getting murdered? Anyway.
Yeah, but it's like all of a sudden, yeah, you decide that no, that's not for me. I'm going into computer science.
Yeah, I would say, because like Alpha Lima got distracted by
there's a child crying.
There's
inside.
a bestial creature being massacred below us. No, just kidding. It's actually a legitimate child. Okay, now I hear it. Yeah. Okay, so the question was, Alpha Lima, I was telling you this right. The question was about getting introspective about your future and career.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like at some point you decided that you didn't have a passion for nursing anymore.
I would say to first off start out, I would say introspection, I think, is a critical skill that everyone should work on at a point, because it can help you immensely understanding why you do things or to change things that are less desirable. I will say that I think with mental illness, a lot of people are more often to be introspective because you kind of just are. Like, you're in your own head a lot anyway, so you end up being, even if you don't want to be. A lot of times it's inaccurate introspection because it's a disease telling you, oh, these are all the things about yourself and these are the things that are shitty. And then eventually, through kind of practice, you get better at realizing what's a disease and what is a negative pit kind of telling you something and what's real. And like, you get better at discerning that throughout time. And that's why at first, like, introspection at first when it came to my career was like saying, you can't do anything. You're not good enough to do anything. You won't be able to do anything. That was the first introspection. Later on, when I got better at it, quite frankly, I was able to discern that, no, I just don't enjoy where I'm at right now. Because what I saw is I know myself and I know my guilt complex. I know that very well. Like, I know that more than anything else in this world. And so I thought, I'm like, I have a guilt complex. I know that. And I'm in nursing. And at the moment, I'm an okay nurse, but I'm starting to slip because I'm not paying enough attention. I don't know enough about the medical conditions. I don't know enough about counter interaction with drugs. And I'm like, at this rate, I'm going to become a shitty nurse. And if I become a shitty nurse, at one point, I'm going to hurt somebody. Inadvertently, maybe, but I will hurt somebody. I will give them wrong med, wrong dose, or I will move them in an inappropriate, like, you know what I mean? Not inappropriate, but like some way that would hurt them. And I know that guilt-wise, that would hurt me. And I'm like, I shouldn't be in this profession because like I'm losing empathy for some of the people I see. And if I lose empathy and I'm sloppy, I'm going to make serious mistakes. I'm like, I would not want to live with myself, and I don't want to be around that all my life because it's very depressing to see the families come into ICU and like the way they treat each other is fucking terrible. Terrible. And you see it every day and you hate it. So I realized, I'm like, I'd like to, I can't be here. I know I can't be here. And that's what I determined. I'm like, what else am I kind of good at? And I sat there and I'm like, and the first thing that came to my head, I'm like, well, I'm not dumb when it comes to problem solving. I like problem solving. I like to help people, at least to an extent. And I know computers and I like computers, like technology. I'm like, okay, how can I like computers and help people? I'm like, well, in all honesty, and it doesn't even sound like it's not the most glamorous job. And you help people on a minor level, but you still help them. Like, IT was the first thing I thought about. I'm like, well, could I sit at a desk Googling a problem someone gave me and fix it? Yeah. Could I be happy enough doing that? Yeah. So that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that. And then I figured out afterwards my school does way more than that. But I'm liking learning the other stuff. Yeah, I'd say it's mainly the fact that I got in introspective and went, I'm going to be miserable living around or working around these families that hate each other or just terrible people doing terrible things to each other or terrible things to themselves. I'm like, it's depressing. I don't want to be around it. I love the nurses. I love the healthcare workers. I hate the people that we help. Not all of them. That sounds terrible. That sounds really bad. I don't hate the people that we help. I dislike how terrible... Essentially, I guess I dislike hearing about how terrible their lives are, quite frankly. It's sad to hear about a lot of their shit. I'm like, that just makes me sad. And I'm already inherently sad. I don't want to be more sad.
Yeah, you just got to remove yourself from that toxic environment.
Yeah, so that's why, like, for me, it was getting out of the health region. I knew I was going to be miserable, and I knew I was going to make a mistake eventually, and that mistake would make me feel really guilty. So then I left it. And yeah, introspection, I think, is incredibly critical, especially for anyone mentally ill. If you're not introspective, you're not getting over it. That's it. If you don't look into yourself and go, I'm fine, I have no problem. Like if I lived my whole life like ignorant about that, and I came today and said, I got no problems. I'm mentally fine. I'm the best. Like what the fuck? I'd be messed up inside. Like I know I got problems, but I know that because I've looked into them and I know why I have those problems. And since I understand them, I have more power over them. Because the second you don't understand them, you're powerless and you're scared. I'm not scared of it.
Well, then that's when you're grasping for conspiracies.
That's when you're grasping. Hey, it's true though. It is true. Like when you don't know, you start to grasp. And I think that for me, I know all my problems. And like whether or not I fix them is another thing. I know all my problems intimately. I know them better than anyone else. No one can tell me better than me. And so like that sounds weird, but like it is the chase. I think that everyone, especially mental health, they need to get to that point because otherwise you're not getting over it. Because you don't know what's wrong. You're not going to be able to fix it. I know mental illness is like still, but you know what I mean? You can fix some of the factors. What are you laughing at? He's laughing at my heartache.
No, he's tired.
I'm laughing that you're broken.
I take joy in your suffering.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the list.
You better not come to school tomorrow. That was terrible. I'm sorry.
Hey, you're a cool kid. Hey, we can say it's Canada. We can say that it's still a joke. Oh, United States, gun laws. Our children die for our right to bear arms.
All right, we're going to call it there. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Entertaining Stupid Podcast.
Sandy Hooks didn't happen. The government lied.
That's another conspiracy theory that just pisses me off.
Oh, the Sandy Hooks?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Paid actors.
Paid actors.
He
got sued.
Good.
But like
he deserves
Can
it.
you possibly believe it's paid actors?
I don't know. Like
what the
fuck? That pisses me off.
That was the one that I'm like, hey, Alex Jones, you're funny. That's not funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in, I don't know, whenever, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, years.
Maybe never. We run off into the forest and become some kind of eldritch.
Yeah.
horror.
So, or we all just Kool-Aid pack this shit and just commit suicide all together.
I'd like
I
that.
can commit Sudoku.
I could kill myself right now. It's easy.
This video's getting taken down for like 8 different reasons.
All right. Bye, guys.
We are pro-life.
Prohibition.
Prohibition.
We are pro-mining.
We are pro-Bitcoin.
We are pro-potash.